Hi guys, welcome to Nick's Knits Podcast. I'm Nick, also known as Nick's Knits on Ravelry, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Please do join our Ravelry group at Nick's Knits Podcast, and you can find information about the blog, upcoming podcasts, and all other information at www.knicksknits.com. So hi guys, I just looked and I can't believe that I got 1,000 views on my last podcast. So thanks guys for all the support. I really enjoyed doing the last podcast and I hope you guys like this one just as much as the last one. So yeah, let me move along with my male knitter shout out and we will then go from there. So let me say hi to Caleb, who is son of Sally Jane of the Pink Hair Girl Knits podcast. Hi Caleb, I heard that you really liked the podcast shout out last week, and so I hope you like this one too. Keep knitting and always, never lose the faith in knitting. Josh, who is sort of a knitter, he also has his own podcast called Sort of a Knitter, and he's a great podcaster. Kenneth, who's also a podcaster, who has the Turbo Knitters podcast, and he's the Turbo Knitter 64 on Ravelry. Terry, who does Bags by Terry, and who is T. Schmidt on Ravelry, and he has great bags. I have one of his bags that I'll show later. Jared, who is Jared Flood, who is really famous, who goes by Brooklyn Tweet on Ravelry, and his blog is like one of the greatest ones out there. If you guys were on Facebook, you saw that I shared his link there. James, who is Dancing Geek. He has another great podcast, Dancing Geek podcast. Darren, who is on the Knitting in Circles podcast, and he is DJ Knits a Lot More. He's great. He's like one of my favorite male knitters out there. Dennis and Darren with his own podcast. It's great. Or with his shared podcast. I think it's just wonderful. Dennis, who is Buzzboy on Ravelry. John, who is Knitboy1 on Ravelry. Matthew, who is MKBug74. Dan, who is Obi-Wan Knitter, who co-hosts the Bakery Bears podcast, and that's one of my favorite podcasts, and I'll talk about them a little later. John, who is Men Knit 2. Sean, who co-hosts the His and Hers podcast, he's great. Matt, who is Navy 1999, and is the co-host of the Apple Blossom and You podcast. He's great. I have to watch the recent one. They told me that I got a shout out, which is kind of cool. Mike, who is Mikey Jr., and I just looked on his profile and he said that he learned to knit in 2011 during the Super Bowl. So happy knitiversary yesterday. So hi Mike. And Paul, who is Paulie81, and he has his own blog, which you can find on his Rav profile, Paulie81. So let's move right into so hi all male knitters out there. If you guys are interested in joining the male knitter shout out, just let me know, and yeah, you'll get right on the list there. So let's move into whips. All the information can be found on my Ravelry page that you might need. Let's move right in with the tank top that I was talking about last week, and this is the Bags by Terry bag that has all these really cool sayings on it. Yeah. So I had planned, so I did a long road trip today, which I will talk about a little later, but I planned to finish this a little today, but it's not going to happen. Just binding off for the middle. I'm in the middle of the row here. But here is the back. And I know you guys are thinking like, oh, this fingering with sequin and it's black and like you can barely see it, like here. Hold it up there. Like it's just like impossible. Hey, like you guys can see me through there. Hi guys. Yeah, you can see me through there, but yeah, so there's that. That's the back, and I already have the front done, which is sort of an entangled mess. But there's the front part of the tank top. And I use, when I'm in the car, I use this great light that I love. I got it for Christmas, and it's great because if I put it on my neck, I won't try to blind you guys, but it has this nice little light here. And you can just knit, but then if you like turn your head, like if I were to look at my dad in the passenger seat, just look, it won't blind him. You know, like if you had a flashlight or a headlamp, it would go straight with you and it would blind the driver, which is not exactly the greatest thing in the world. So that is the Ray tank by Teresa Chorzepa, and this is with a Tahki Stacy Charles yarn. The yarn is Tahki Stacy Charles Flora in the colorway 03. Again, a really creative colorway name. Yeah, and here's a picture of what it is going to look like. Yeah, so I want to get it done this week. It will get done this week, and then I need it to be done because it's like I just can't knit on something like that any longer. Yeah, so now I have a hoe, which is, hold on, sorry guys, oh, here's the bag. I have a hoe with my Patons Kroy socks in the colorway blue striped Ragg, and I'm starting to learn about my foot size and stuff. This one's just a little bit too big, and so with my Ann Budd book here, which is, if you're a knitter, a new knitter, advanced knitter, any knitter, it's a great baseline book on how to, you know, like just a basic pattern, and it gives you what she has is you do a gauge swatch, and you find which gauge you are. So I won't try to give anything away, but here's a great example. So you have the gauge on your left, and then each size is in the column. And then you just choose which gauge you want, and then that's that. So that again is the Knitter's Handy Book of Patterns, designs by Ann Budd. It's a great book. She also does a sweater one that I want to get. That's really nice. Yeah, so that's the hoe, and then I haven't even started on the second one, and that's I did that using my Yarnit, which is I love, again, as I talked about on the last podcast. Oh, my light's a little, there we go. I turned a couple lights off because I feel like I was getting washed out the last time. I think I'm going to need to find like a second light to put in here, but that's not like overpowering as these other ones are. They're like LCD lights, and they're just, or LED lights, and they're just like too much. Yeah, and finally the Hexapuff blanket. So again, using my random scraps from Ploverbird, I'll show you which one I'm working on. This is, I finished up one of the neon ones. I wasn't sure which one it was. Yeah, so there's that. And then I'm working with this, which I'm guessing is some sort of, oh, that color is horrible. Using some, yeah, I need to find a better light source here. Using some sort of Halloween color. You know what, let me turn on these lights. Sorry guys, that might make it, even though it washes out just a little bit, it might, it doesn't help too much, but it does, yeah, maybe a little bit, yeah. It's a little more true to color there. So there's that. I'm working on one right now. This is the second one out of this yarn. So, yeah. And then I finished one. Let me see if it's in here. Here it is. So it's nice. It's not like too Halloween-y where like it's just for Halloween, but it like has that nice little touch to it that I like. And all the scraps that she gave me were just wonderful. All these scraps, which are great. If you guys have any sock yarn scraps that you don't want or you don't need or whatever, yeah, no, these are washing me out too much. That you don't want or you don't need, send them my way. Send me a PM. I'll gladly take them. I'm thinking of doing a swap later on in the year. Of sock yarn scraps. Minerva Turkey. Hi Minerva. Gave me a really good idea. I think I want to start doing that. So those are my whips. And that also that was done in my Ploverbird bag. And my plan for that is to do make one for my twin bed. Or no, it's not a twin bed. It's more like a full bed. Make one so that covers all of that. But I'm growing so much that by the time I finish it, I might need to make it bigger because my bed will be bigger because I'm starting to grow out of my bed. FO. So I don't have any like real FO that like was from last week. So I'll do what I did last week and talk about an FO that I did recently or something, an FO that I really liked. So here is a sweater that I did out of Webb's yarn, or it's also called what is it called? Valley Yarns, I think. Yeah, I need to come up with a better light. Sorry, guys. This week it's just going to be a little weird. I did this cool like flower detail at the top, and then I used these really nice buttons that have like baby carriages on them, which are nice. And so yeah, that's out of their Valley Yarns Superwash Bulky. Here, I'll show that to you guys again. It has a nice feel to it, but it's bulky and it's Superwash Merino, and it's perfect. And I also made a pair of mittens and a hat, but I already gave that to her. I need to fix one of the buttons on here. And then I wanted to do a pair of socks, and I was only able to get one done, and then I ran out of yarn. So if I ever buy it again, I might make her mismatch socks or something. And I also did cowls out of that for my two of my cousins for Christmas, which I think they really liked. So yeah, let's move on to stash enhancement. Sorry if this is moving just a little bit quicker this week, but that's just because I'm just getting back from a road trip and I'm kind of tired, and so I'll talk about that a little later. But I was really excited because I got home probably like, how long, like 2 hours ago. But when I got home, I got my Valentines swap package, which I was really excited about. I'm in the Foxes with Socks, or I think it's Foxes with Socks. I love their podcast. I think they're in Michigan, and they have a great podcast. It's two sisters, but they Skype with each other. It's sort of like the Knick Girls. Oh, I love their podcast too. The Knick Girls podcast, and they basically they Skype with each other, but they record, and it's kind of cool. But they did a Valentine's swap, which I was really excited about. And so my partner was Lbergeron on Ravelry. I think her name is Lbergeron. I was really excited to get mine. Mine's going to go out this week, probably Tuesday. Yeah, so I was really excited to get that, and I got some really cool stuff. So she is from Oregon. Looks like Mount Hood, Oregon, to be specific. So there's that, and she wrote me a nice little note. And she sent me this beautiful popcorn, which is Salted Dream, which has decadently delicious smoky caramel corn drizzled in dark chocolate and sea salt. Really good. It looks really good. I'm gonna savor it, but I might have to gobble on it soon. And she sent me some teas. Really like tea. We both like tea, so got some teas. Looks like this brand is Stephen Smith. I've seen this around. I've never had any of it, but the tea that I usually drink, I'm a little crazy, but I drink my tea like let's say I want to watch a couple podcasts before bed. I'll drink tea right before bed, because I'm not somebody that would be like buzz, like zzz, all the time, like if I were just to drink one cup. So I usually just drink that, and then when I want to go to bed, I can just go to bed. I just have to calm down a little bit. Yeah. So there is that. And then she got me, I know, I don't need any more of this. I just don't. I need to, so we'll talk about yarn dieting later. But she got me some more Woolmiza. It's like 4 skeins. I do not need this much. I do not need this much. I need to stop. You guys are my witness. So in the München, my mom's probably going to kill me because she's German and she could probably pronounce this much better than I. But it's in this really nice orange color. Yeah, sorry guys, the color is just like horrible. I need to get. Last week I don't think it was this bad, but I guess my light placement is a little different this week. And then sorry I didn't press this. A lot of the stuff, or I think everything but the Woolmiza, is like Portland based. So she, from Portland, Oregon area. So this is a abstract fiber, hand-painted yarn and fiber, which is beautiful. It's like a sock yarn. Oh, this is just not true to color. I'm so sorry, guys. It's much different. If you guys want a reel, check this week at some point on my Rav Stash page, and I'll definitely have a better picture of this, because I just got a light box, which I love. And yeah, so I'll check that out. And yeah, but cool yarn. And what else? These look really good. Marion berry, I guess it's like a local berry, and they're these like gummies. They look really good. They look like grapes, but I bet they taste different. Yeah, and here are, they're like gummies. Yeah, they look interesting. There's those. And then finally she got me these cool tags, which I really love. I think it's just one design. Yeah, just one design. It has like this cool skein on it. Hand knit for you. And then it had this nice little twine that comes with it too. It's really nice. So I was like, love that. And then finally, I just had it all in this bag that she got me. But this really cool bag, Minerva Turkey showed this bag maker on her podcast. If not somebody similar who makes a similar bag. And I cannot remember. It doesn't have a tag in it, I don't think. Let me check. Nope. But this is like a nice big bag. It's like almost a tote, but it's like just small enough that it can be a project bag. It's awesome. Because I told her I really liked orange. And she followed through on that. That was nice. But yeah, so here is the bag. Beautiful, nice like print. It almost looks like watercolor, like she splashed, but it's not. Like, it's definitely like a printed cotton or something. And then it has this cool system where it has this little loop here, and then you just put the yarn through the loop, and then you have this nice little bag. So that's nice. Yeah, so that was my Valentine's swap, and I feel kind of bad that I haven't sent mine out yet, but it will go out most likely Tuesday. I think the deadline is the 6th, so today's the 2nd, so I have a couple days to get it out. It'll definitely be out. Because she sent me some more local stuff, I want to send her a couple things that are more local, so I'll send her out some stuff. So there's that. So that's Stash Enhancement. Well, also on the Stash Enhancement, there will not be any more Stash Enhancement. Well, no, next week there probably will be a little bit more Stash Enhancement from stuff that I ordered last night. It's bad. It's really, really bad. Bad. I need to stop. So, you guys are my witness. I will not buy yarn. So, my thing is, if I say I'm not going to buy yarn at all this year, I just think that that's too high for me. Like, if I go to Rhinebeck, you know, I would like to go to, in October, go to either Stitches East or Vogue Knitting Life Chicago also. And I just can't, like, so maybe October will be my break. But if I say I'm not going to buy anything for that year except for Chicago, I'm going to end up buying yarn. So if I just chunk it out, like, and especially because Lent is coming up and everything, the Lenten season, I'm just going to go through Easter. So April 5th, you know, and then on April 5th I might get myself, like, a skein of yarn. That's it. And then, like, you know, not just go overboard. Like, you know, if you're on a real diet and you, like, you know, one day before the diet you just eat, like, you just eat a ton, and then you go on the diet and you're just like, ugh. And then, you know, you get off the diet and you just eat it all back up. You know, that's not what I want. I want to, you know, give myself a break, but also at this point I'm not buying any more yarn, which is hard because, like, I like going on my LYS, but the thing is I really only usually have time just to stop and to grab something quick. So, like, you know, I like to sit there, but I just really don't have time because, you know, I have school till 6. My yarn shop closes at 5, and the only day that I have available is Thursday at 8. Oh. I might have to go to my yarn shop on Thursday, because I don't have my choir rehearsal this Thursday, because we're singing in a Requiem piece. It's really cool, and I'll talk about more of that later. So upcoming projects, more socks. Again, that sweater. I want to get that started soon. So Vogue Knitting Live, I also got a my mom got me a Hiya Sharps interchangeable set, the limited edition set, and I've been eyeing it. And it's like one of the widest range sets, so 2 to 15, US 2 to 15 sizes, and it comes with like all different size cables. So really excited for that, because that's just I'm planning on just having like, that's gonna be all my needles, and then I'm gonna have my DPNs. And let me know, guys, do you guys like Magic Loop? I know Stacy from Mustache Yarn, I know they're like devout DPNers, as I am. I love DPNs. I just think they're easier, but my yarn shop owner has sort of got me off of it. She said she wasn't a huge fan of Magic Loop, and so I just put that to rest. And I might try it someday. Let me know. Do you guys think it would be worthwhile? Is it more efficient, is what I'm wondering. Because if it's not more efficient, it just looks like a long cable, and I just don't want to deal with it. And some cables are really kinky, and I've tried the thing where you put it in hot water, and it doesn't really work. Especially, like, I have an Addie's interchangeable set that I'm probably going to sell. Just because I probably sell all my sets. Yeah, if you guys are interested in buying, let me know. I have an Addie and a Clover interchangeable set, and I'll probably consider selling them. And I think maybe a couple cables from around there are missing, but I'll just have to see. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't think like it's worth it. I have to see how these Hiya cables are too. I might try it, but I don't know. So there's that. Dyeing. I tried some dyeing. If you guys were on my Instagram, you might have seen my skein of yarn. I'll show it on the podcast too. I'm just horrible about like drying stuff out. It's just still really soggy. But I made this. Oh, this is just not true to color. Go on my Instagram. Check it out. Yeah. But so I did this purple and this beautiful aquamarine. And I used something called Country Classics dye, which is just like a regular old dye. I've tried natural dyes, and they just don't give me enough color range. Like, I love this pop of color, I had my friend, my brother's friend over, and he was interested in dyeing, so they're doing like hockey heads, but they were interested in dyeing, so that's that. But let me show this in a little more detail. I used, here, I might have an undyed skein right here. Pure Wool by Lion Brand. LB collection. And if you guys have ever seen Lion Brand and like Michaels, don't judge Lion Brand on that. Just don't. They have wonderfully priced like quality yarns, like this wool. I think it's only like $4 or $5. It's perfect for if you want to start dyeing. I think it's like, and it's a nice single ply. Some people have said they don't like single plies because they pill. Get over it. Single plies are wonderful. Like this, another great example. I won't be able to reach it. But the Manostout Lower Gray Maxima that I showed you guys last week. Beautiful single ply. And even if it pills, take a sweater stone to it. You're going to have to invest in one sometime. Now, if you guys are interested in non-pilling yarns, a great one that I know of that, if you guys remember, I talked about Miss D'Angelo. Hi, Miss D'Angelo. If you guys remember, I talking about her. Sorry for the crinkling. It's the saran wrap that I had this in. She told me about Tess Yarns and their Superwash wool. So if you're interested in a non-pilling yarn, she says she has her daughter made one, who's Valerie, as I talked about last week, and she made a sweater out of their Superwash. I think it's just called Superwash Merino, Superwash wool, and it's 100% Superwash Merino. She said it doesn't pill at all. So there's a recommendation. I'm just saying, don't be. This isn't considered yarn snob. This is just being. Get over it. Like if it's a beautiful yarn, if it feels soft, you love the color, do not, say, I'm not going to buy it because it'll pill and blah, blah, blah. It's beautiful. You should knit it. You know what I mean? Like, don't... Now, there are a lot of you out there that could care less, like me, that go up and feel, this is soft, I like the color coming with me. It has to come with me if I really like the color. Where if, you know, I don't know, all I'm saying is don't be judgmental of construction. You know, maybe I'll do like a little thing about different fibers sometime, and different constructions and stuff, because I really love getting into that stuff. It's really cool. I actually did a whole science fair project about the difference between like pre-industrial revolution processing of clothing and post, and how much it changed. And so I'm like, I like to be a historian about that kind of stuff. So there's that. Tangent. Sorry, guys. And I'm also interested in doing a barn raising quilt. Minerva Turkey took me to the dark side. I've seen it on Knitting in Circles for ages, and I kind of like the way they look, but I don't know, they just didn't look that great to me. But then when I saw the possibilities that it showed, and you don't need as many as the Hexapuffs. The Hexapuffs, I'm probably going to have to make like 500-600 of those, which is fine, it's long term. Let me guys know if you want to see those new Hexapuffs every single week, because it might get a little monotonous. Yeah, so barn raising quilt. Want to give that a try. We'll see where that goes. So now I'll talk about the cow. So if you guys were on the board, I know a couple people had posted, but if you were in the board, you saw that a lot of I talked about socks. Sorry, guys. I talked about socks last week also in the podcast about cow. So me and the Bakery Bears podcast will be doing a joint cow, and it's going to be called Spring into Socks. So we're going to start it in March, and I think end it in March, April, in May, end of May probably. That's where at least how long I'm going to go, and we'll see. But so there's that. I'll start up a thread in the Ravelry group. Post your yarn ideas. I plan to knit like 3-4 pairs during those 2 months. This is the year of socks and sweaters for me. I feel like once I get those high interchangeables, because that's a birthday present, but it's early, but I can't use them yet. But once I get those, then I'm going to be going on a lot of stuff. But for now, I'm just going to work on getting rid of old projects, starting, you know, working on socks and other stuff and finishing stuff up. So there's that. Yeah, so post yarns, different sock knitting needles that you really like, sock knitting accessories. One thing, if you guys have a suggestion for sock blockers, I found one on Loopy U, but the thing is they need to be 11 inches. I know most people do 11.5, so I think it's something like 10.5 to 11.5, but I'm looking for an 11 because that's my foot size. I know the Loopy U carries it, but if you guys have something that's a little more like lower cost, because I think the Loopy U for me to buy a pair would be like $26, not including shipping, which is a little much, and I won't end up buying them until April anyway. But if you guys have any suggestions, please do let me know. Yeah, so now we're going to go into the blabber section. That was a lot. But, so, the weather. Weather. It's been snowing quite a lot. Snowing. So let me talk about my whole trip. So we, this weekend, I had a long weekend at school, which is, so I go to a boarding school, and, well, I'm a day student at a boarding school, as I explained, and so basically the boarding school, we do not observe legal holidays. Like, I started school on Labor Day, which I'm fine with it, because I'll be getting out, like, first thing in June, which is totally fine. Like, I think, like, I'm done, like, in May, so I'm, like, out June 1st, which I think that's fine, you know, like, sorry guys if I'm going to drink a little bit. Yeah, which is fine, and I do have Saturday classes, but 3 times a year in the middle of every term. So we have fall, winter, and spring terms. It's a trimester system. We have a long weekend where we have a half-day Friday, and then we have Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off. So today I had off. And so Friday night, I planned to go up with my dad to Mount Snow, Vermont. And I'm going to be posting a couple pictures on Instagram later, but we went up to Mount Snow, Vermont, and we were planning on going up there Friday night, and then my uncle called and said that the roads were really, really bad. So we just decided, you know what, better idea just to play it safe, go up. And so we woke up at like 5 a.m. on Saturday morning, got there at around 10:30. It's about good time, like we got there in like 5 hours. So it's not horrible. I got used to it. I don't know, but so we got up there, we skied. It was really windy, like really windy when we got up there. And like we were driving and it was like -2 without wind chill. And you know, foxes in socks, girls. I know you guys must be like -2. Like I was just talking about this with my stepdad, like how people can live in like -16 weather day after day after day after day, or like negative teens. Props to you. Props to you. I couldn't do it. So anyway, we skied Saturday, and I think it was something like -20 with wind chill, but there were some parts where it was like -2 without the wind chill. So, and I've actually probably never been in that cold of conditions ever. Period. Then again, I'm 14. So we got there, we skied Saturday afternoon because my dad had bought, you can buy, like, lift tickets online. It's just not a good idea. You know, if you always want to change your plans or whatever, I just find it's not a good idea. You learned a lesson on it, but whatever. So we had that. Yeah, so I went skiing Saturday. Sunday, yesterday, Super Bowl Sunday, we did some great skiing because a lot of people went home because there was a big storm this morning, like last night into this morning, up in Vermont, basically all up. It sort of like turned into just like a light little thing by South Jersey. So a lot of people left, so it was nice and empty in Vermont. So we, not in all of Vermont, but at least in Dover, Vermont, where Mount Snow is. So we skied Sunday. The Sunday skiing was the best. We only did an afternoon. We were able to sleep in. The skiing was wonderful. And then Sunday night came. We watched the Super Bowl. I, went between podcast and commercials. I don't usually watch the game. I know that the Patriots won. My stepdad's a Patriots fan, but the rest of us aren't really that keen on Boston sports, which, you know what, to each his own. But, so we had, so we went skiing Sunday, enjoyed it, had a nice meal, and I caught the Lollipop Yarn update. You'll be seeing that next week, but that's it. Lollipop Yarn update was it. I might order in March. She has another one in March 8th. That's going to be like it. That's it. Tell me, is ordering like one ball of yarn from somebody? No, I shouldn't order from her on March 8th. We'll see how it ends up. I shouldn't order from her. I really shouldn't. After all that you saw from VKL, I should not see it. Skiing, so, and I'll put in probably a little video at the end here or something of us skiing or something like that. Some pictures too. So we had skiing Sunday, and then we got dumped with snow, and it turned into like we were out west in the east because the skiing was very, very powdery. I'm not sure how big of a fan I was of it, but we were able to ski like 4 runs for free because nobody was really checking lift tickets because it was just so empty. So we just decided, you know what, go for it. My dad's a season ticket holder, so they really just let us through. So we went skiing today, this morning. It wasn't great. And then we came back, and it was still coming down really hard when we were coming back. The snow was pretty bad. Basically, it was pretty bad basically until we got into New Jersey. So for a good 3.5, 4 hours, we were just like, it was real snow on the roads. And on the New York Thruway, it was really bad on the New York Thruway. Like, I was very surprised. But then again, the snow was coming pretty steadily and pretty hard. Yeah, school in February. Got to get down to business. That's why knitting's going to be on the lower side in February. February is my birthday month, February 15th. Of course, before Valentine's Day. It's actually coming up real soon. You know, I don't think about it, but February I just got to get down to business with school. And, you know, you might not see as much knitting, but you know what? I'll just get down to business and really get. As long as I get to it, I think I can do it. In other school news, because I know a couple of you guys said that you'd like to hear about what I'm doing in school and all that good stuff. We are doing, actually this will probably turn out backwards, won't it? Anyway, oh no, it won't. We are doing Hairspray the musical, which is really exciting, in theater. I'm a big theater kid. I really like theater. Theater's like my thing, theater and the arts. It's fun. So we're doing Hairspray in February. That's another big thing that's happening in February, which is a lot of fun. And I'm Mr. Spritzer, who's basically if you guys have ever seen it, it's basically about a TV show and how it is all about how this girl named Tracy wants to integrate the TV show. And I'm the sponsor of the show of Ultra Clutch Hairspray. No, it's kind of hard to say. Ultra Clutch, but I basically say, like, you know, get that damn communist girl off my show. Like, that's one of my lines. But yeah. So basically, in the end, I won't give it away. But you know, they try to integrate, and you guys can guess what happens. So there's that coming up in February. Which is exciting, and I'm going to be helping out with costume a little bit. I did costume design for the Little Mermaid at my school last year, which turned out alright. But I would like to do like a serious costume design thing. Oh, in other news, the Knitting Club. Knitting Club's going pretty well. It's just ridiculous. I turned in my submission form like 2-3 weeks ago at this point, and yeah, it's 3 weeks ago at this point, and I talked with the woman who basically runs the club approval system and runs the whole student activities. She has some title like that. And basically what has to happen is my form has to go to the dean of students, who's also the head of the student council. And the student council has to vote on my club. And then once they vote on it, which will take at least 2 to 3 weeks, then I can start doing the club. Which is like, but she told me, well, you can send out, you know, an email about the club. So basically saying, my club is going to be approved, but I can't just because of the student council doesn't meet. And it's so ridiculous. Again, I'm still accepting donations. Size 8 or size 7, either. 16-inch circulars. If you have them and you don't need them, PM me. Stitch markers. Very useful. And any yarn. No acrylic. I can do a mix, wool, acrylic. I'll go for that. But nothing that's a hard, like Red Heart Super Saver. I do not want that. I want a wool-like yarn. It can be cotton. It can be anything. Anything that you guys can donate, I would love that. But I'm really desperate. And, you know, it's just going to be a wild ride for me to get the kids, you know, started knitting. And there is a lot of interest. So we're just going to have to see, you know, how many kids I get. And then I really do want to raise money. And you guys will probably see more about this in August, you know, maybe towards, you know, June. Yeah, probably in June. You guys will see a Kickstarter go up. Because I want to take the kids to Rhinebeck. New York Sheep and Wool Festival up in upstate New York. And I want to raise money for us to get a bus and get a, give the kids like $50 spending money to buy some yarn. And I think that'd be great injection, because I think for kids just to see the Walmart aisle or like the yarn aisle at Walmart, it's just not right. I think kids, deserve to see because that's why a lot of kids don't, keep knitting, because, the yarns just look really tacky and it's just very old grandma-y. And I feel like with, indie dyed yarn, or even just like wool yarn, like to meet the farmer, say, this is Farmer Joe. He has Rambouillet sheep, and, here's his yarn, and, buy a skein of it, and, you can knit a hat, and you met Farmer Joe, who has the sheep, and, like, just have that connection. You know what I mean? Like, yarn is I heard this from the woman who owns Juniper Moon, and I can't remember her name, Juniper Moon. I talked about her last week, but she said, yarn is a romantic thing. You want to walk into a yarn shop and really feel, like, you want to really, like, love the yarn and have an experience. You know what I mean? It's not just about the yarn. You know what I mean? It's not just about the yarn. It's also about, meeting the shop owner, meeting the indie dyer, meeting whoever it is that, started it. And, it's a big commitment for a yarn shop to put yarns on their shelves. I think she said to add a yarn line, or just one yarn, it's $10,000 investment, which is a lot. And for you to risk something and waste shelf space if it's not going to be good, and it's a risk. And you know what I mean? Like, to support people. That's what I'm trying to say here. That's what I'm trying to say is, I would really like to teach the kids that to support the indie dyers and to learn and experience the romance that is buying yarn and that is knitting, and you met the person that made the yarn, and just to make that connection, I think, is really important. And I think for it not to be acrylic, and for not to be something that was came out of a test tube, I just don't think that that's right. I think to see this is the sheep. This sheep came with the made the yarn. Well, not literally made the yarn, but you guys know what I mean. Yeah. So, I think that's it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think so. Let me know what you thought of my dyeing. I think I'm gonna maybe do some more dyeing. Who knows? Maybe I'll turn into an indie dyer. I probably won't. I don't have the time yet. And plus, I don't know the skills. If you guys are indie dyers, if you guys have ever tried indie dyeing, and you guys have any other techniques, I'm trying to do some self-striping. But if you guys have any ideas or techniques that you like to use, because I know there are just billions, let me know. I'd like to try it out. Yeah. So thank you. Make sure that you check out the blog. You guys are probably on the blog. And thank you again for your support. It's amazing. 1,000 people viewing my video. It's like, I feel really honored that you guys would take an hour out of your day. Well, this is going to be around 45 minutes. Take a 45 minutes out of your day and just sit with me, talk about knitting. I really appreciate it, because especially as a boy with knitting and with school and everything else, it's just hard to work it out. And so to be able to watch podcasts and for you to watch mine and have a nice little chat with me, I really appreciate it. I really do. So I hope you guys know that. Join the group, and as always, let me know what you guys think. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. And again, sorry about last week. If you guys saw the end of my podcast, it said I was a little grumpy. I was a little grumpy. I'm trying to be a little more loose. Be more myself. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. And, yeah, again, let me know what you think. Again, donations for the Yarn Club, PM me. I would love to get some more stuff. And thank you, Dark Matter Knits. And I know that there are a couple of, this one woman from Hamilton. I should have written down her name. Hi, whoever you are. I'm so sorry. I can't remember your name. Thank you for donating yarn. Just anything, even if it's just one skein of yarn, I'll pay for the, well, I will pay for the ship. No, I won't pay for the shipping. Sorry, guys. sort of broke after VKO. But just if you guys could please donate and just find, you know, just the one skein of yarn that you really won't use. I would really, really appreciate it. And everything, all the donations, I will, like, you know, I probably do a pod, you know, spend a good time on the podcast one time just showing you what the kids make and everything. Yeah. Oh, and thank you to the lady, again, didn't write down your name, who gave me the materials for knitting clubs. Thank you for that. Sorry, guys, it's been, like, tangent city. Anyway, alright. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the podcast. And make sure that you check out the blog, www.knicksknits.com, and join the Ravelry group. Chat it up, talk about your sock knitting dreams for the spring into socks. Yeah, so thank you guys really, really much. Thank you very, very much. Thank you guys very, very much for checking it out. And I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you next Monday. Yes, it will go up next Monday. I will see you guys next Monday, and yeah, have a great week, guys. Bye.